All right. You're in for a treat. So, trying to think when you first joined with me. It was. Would you remember the year?
Well, Carolina wasn't pregnant yet with the second child.
Yeah, I was thinking 2014. So that.
A little before that, around 2014. Around 2014.
It was in the early days of when I converted my trainings to these boot camp style,
right.
And. Mr. Godfrey De La Rosa, the actual Godfrey. Many people have seen your picture on the screen.
Oh, but
and since with the COVID and whatnot, we haven't seen everyone for a while. A couple people said, "Is he real?" They were starting to think it was like, you remember in Cheers, Norm's wife, Vera. You always heard about it, yet never ever saw her, so you wondered if she actually exists. So people were wondering, do you actually exist?
I do exist.
You do. That's
and I almost didn't make it out here today too. I'm like, Carolina keep texting me, and I'm like. Okay, I went to my wife and said, she said, well, it's a 3.5-hour drive. We can do it. I said, okay.
Yeah, happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Godfrey came out of the gate his first year with me and hit it huge. $248,000 in profits. That's a huge year. He's asked me to talk about that first year. Cool. We won't use specific numbers for the years after that because it had been off the charts.
It's been hit and miss, and the whole 2020 really got me, and I mean, it took my pants, took my shirt, took everything, because first of all, how I came across Tom was I used to do a lot of reading on real estate investing and stuff and follow people online, and then I said, okay, I purchased a couple things online, and you didn't get that personal interaction. Okay, so I was looking for someone that I could feel touch here, not back then was email or phone call, so I wanted someone that I could touch and feel, and I went online and said, oh, I work in Tyson's Corner. This guy is right here in Virginia, DC, Maryland area, and he does training and classes up in Greenbelt. I don't know if you remember when you were Greenbelt and Virginia you were doing at the same time. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go check out this gentleman. So I went, and it was actually somebody that I saw, and things weren't complicated with him as it was with others. So I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. I've read enough books, try to teach myself enough. I say, okay, the only way I'm going to really learn is to rub shoulders with someone that actually doing it and that I could actually see and feel. So that's how I came across Tom. And I actually had a friend of mine that I told what I was doing, and he said, okay, and he gave me the money to purchase the course.
Borrowed the money to attend.
Because he was like, you're confident. Well, first of all, my background is in the hospitality business. Okay, and I worked for McCormick and Smith's Seafood Restaurant. I don't know if you're all familiar with that group. Well, I was the Mid-Atlantic Regional Manager for that company. Okay, and I only reported to the VP and the CEO. So I had the business mindset in it, because a lot of people, when they come into the restaurants and stuff, they think I owned it because I treat it like if it was my own. But anyway, so I had that mindset, and the guy that lent me the money, he actually was in business too, but he worked as a server. I said, why are you doing this? He said, extra money, man, I got a wife and 3 kids. He said, I don't want to do nothing complicated, I could do this. So he said, hey, I'm going to lend you the money to do the course. So I did the course, okay? And then he funded the first deal that I did, and he got his money back. So he was like, okay, when is the next one? And then he was talking to someone, okay, that had money, that said, hey, I get extra money by doing this with Godfrey, and that person approached me, so can I join in the fray? And I'm like, sure, why not? But I always made it clear that, there's risk involved. There's always risk involved, because if we go to 2020, there was risk involved. Now, in 2018 and 2019, I didn't know what was going to happen, so no one did, all right? And sitting here watching me now, right? I lost. Now brace yourself for this, okay? I lost $500,000 in 2020.
Ouch.
$500,000.
What happened?
Okay. Well, I did a restaurant. And I started running out of money when they tell people they can't go anywhere. Okay. So the electric bill is still there. The gas bill is still there. Okay. I still have to try and buy food so that I could do the Uber Eats, the DoorDash, the whatever else have you out there. I lost 75% of my sales.
You took your real estate profits and opened a restaurant of your own.
Yeah, and I had
In
business
2019.
in 2019. In 2019.
Your timing's magnificent.
It actually opened, okay, October the 12th, 2019. Yes. Right before. Yeah. Right before it opened, you know? Right before. And it was just, a rough time for me, okay? I had a couple of real estate deals doing up in Maryland, and that went south.
Also because of the pandemic?
Because of the pandemic. That went south because everybody just disappeared, you know? Even the guy that was funding, claimed he funded me money, which he never did, and he disappeared.
Okay.
Okay? So, and people say, oh, how come you're still walking around and laughing and stuff? I'm the type of person that I'm not going to let anything stop me from doing what I need to do. Okay? And I've always been like that. If I want to get from A to B, I'll find a way to get from A to B. Because my wife came up to me and she said, I sat on the edge of the bed and I'm like, just staring, and she said, don't worry about it. If anybody could figure out how to get past this, would be you. And I said, easier said than done. You know, but I found a way. Am I there yet? No. She refused to let me use the word broke because you're not broke. You're just financially challenged at this point in time. You know?
She's right.
You're not broke. You know, so you
can't be broke.
No.
You've dug yourself out before to great heights. You
Yeah.
knock down a few pegs.
And I do have assets that if I want to, I could liquidate, but I'm not doing that. You know, because that only creates another problem. You know? So I'm leaving that where it is, and I'm building liquid cash right now. That's what I'm working on. So I do a lot of things other than real estate. You know, and I do a lot of referrals too, and I refer people to different things, and I get paid for that. So every week I get paid. Every week I have a check coming in, every week I pay it away. My wife has a job. The plan was for me to retire her, but that's kind of pushed back a little bit because she said she's going to use her money to sustain our expenses and stuff, and the money I make, we're going to put aside. Mm-hmm. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're working on. She's down here with me. She came across with me. She's not involved in this. She said, I'm not coming. I'm just, when you're ready, just call me. I'll be on the boat.
Well, we'll meet her tonight.
You know, but for those who haven't started yet or thinking about starting, you know, the thing is you just got to do it, okay? Because what I've learned is failure is the stepping stone to success, you know? So the more you fail, the closer you are to being successful.
Yeah, but how does that play out in real life? How does that feel? You know failure well. You've been there. It sucks. It hurts.
Sucks. Yeah.
So what do you have to do to get over it other than just saying it? What has Godfrey done to get over it?
You just got to continue doing it. Okay, that was what Godfrey has done. I didn't look at it and say, okay, I failed, I can't continue, it's not going to happen. No. I started to find a way. You have to come up with a game plan. Okay? So you have to plan. And what I have right in front of my desk, a plan of what I need to be doing. Okay? And if I'm missing on one of the plans, I revisit and I say, okay, let me focus on this here and get it done. I have a plan. I call it my business plan. Okay? And it's one for each month of the year. Okay? I don't have, you know, people at the beginning of the year, they make resolutions.
Yeah.
Okay? Resolution is a to-do list for the first week of the year. The first week. Because how many people go and join the gym? Okay?
Yeah.
And they tie themselves up in this yearly contract, and they go to the gym probably for the first week. And then the second week, they end up there once. And then the third week, they're not there anymore. But each month, the gym is taking over the membership. Right? So you got to stick with your goals. You have to have that mindset that this is what you need to get done, and you get up and you do it. You know, and I hear folks that work with me. You know, I don't have employees. Okay, I work on my own time. I do what I want, when I want, how I want, but I treat what I do as if it was a job, because won't you get up to get to your job on time at 9 o'clock in the morning? Okay, and if you don't get there, what is your worry? You're not going to get paid, right? Same thing, being self-employed or running your own business. If you do not get up on time and get things done, you're not going to get paid, and then you worry why you're failing. And then you see all these people put a post on the internet, oh, this program don't work, you know?
No, you didn't work.
They didn't take the time to make it work, you know? They didn't put the time into it, you know? So if you're there on the sideline and you just gathering all this knowledge, okay? All this knowledge that you gather, it's just what it is if you don't implement it. It's just knowledge. And it just comes like everything else, a waste of time.
Is that self-enforced discipline?
Self-enforced.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to do it. You know, my alarm goes off in the morning at 5:30. Okay, I get up. Now, do I have to go and clock in for anyone? No, because when everything went south for me, you know, my first inclination was to find a job. Okay, because oh shoot, my money is gone. I need to get some money in, you know? And I did put out resumes on Indeed and all, Career Builder and all that stuff, you know? What came back were offers what I was getting when I first started in the restaurant business. Okay? And I was like, wait a minute. My wife looked at me and said, wait a minute, why are you doing all this? She said, listen, you have all this knowledge. You take it, you focus on one thing at a time, and you get it done. She said, and I'm going to hold you accountable, because if I don't see money coming in, you're going out.
Touche.
I mean, you know, and we sort of like hold one another accountable for what needs to be done.
So it's kind of self-motivated, self-preservation.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, you still got to do it, you know? So that's where I'm at in this junction of my life. I do have properties working on. I manage 4 properties for someone that they call me and they're having a hard time, and they say, hey, because I sold them the property, rental property that they want, and now they're like, I'm having a hard time, I can't do it. And she's 84 years old, you know? And I'm like, I say, what happened to your son? She said, he can't do it because 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, he had a stroke. You know, she said, he's trying, but he really can't cope with it. I say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it all up. I'm going to organize it for you. Okay? She said, what's your fee? I say, let me get it set up. You know, I say, I'm going to just charge you 10% of whatever you have coming in. Fair enough? She said, fine. I say, but I don't want to do this long term. So I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put the systems in place, and I'm going to show your son what is happening. So he don't have to physically or mentally do a lot. You know, so that's what I'm putting together right now for her. I write contracts for people. I use your contracts, okay? And they pay me for writing the contracts. You do a contract for me, sure. Okay, I'll pay you for it, okay. You know, so there are different ways
you're
to do
licensed
stuff.
for that.
Huh?
You're licensed for that. That's
Yeah,
great.
I'm licensed for that. You know, because I have a real estate license. Okay.
No, I meant my license.
But I have your license. But I do have a real estate license too.
As well.
And I do have a life insurance, health, and variable license also. You know, and I had this loan officer, broker, that was trying to encourage me to get a broker's license, because what I do is I refer business to her and I get a kickback.
Yeah.
It's called business.
Yeah. Referral.
Yeah.
What types of deals are you going to specifically focus on now to get back to the pre-COVID also?
Well, I have a couple investors that I'm working with that I'm trying to wholesale some properties to, you know, and it's just a matter of working out the kinks with the sellers. You know, and in the Florida market, it's much different than Maryland. You know, they're tough and everybody wants the price, you know? So if your house is in good condition and is selling for $500,000 and their house is shitty, they still want the $500,000.
there's a lot of that going around.
And my neighbor's house, I was going to buy, and I went and looked at the house. Okay, and this was when I first moved down here. I went and looked at the house, and she wanted $350,000 for it, and I went and said, I'm not giving you $350,000 for this. This needs at least $60,000 worth of work. You know? I said, she no. The guy came and he said he could do it for $10,000. I said, what? I said, look, the floor is warped. I said, who's going? And the kitchen is way outdated. You know, you're looking at 1970s. You know, and the bathroom looked the same way. I said, this needs some work. You know. She said, no. She sold it to a guy, and we were talking last week, and I said, I was going to buy this house, you know. I said, yeah. I said, I made an offer, and she said, no. He said, well, you don't mind me asking how much you offer? I said, $260 I offered her, and he said, oh, I bought it for $350, and you know what? He put $50,000 more into it.
How much did you sell it for?
He didn't sell it, he's living in it. So it's a big difference, okay? He's living in it. But I watch him, I see the expensive tiles coming in, the expensive appliances coming in, I'm like, whoa. And it took him 2 months before he moved into the house after he bought it.
How many times have you heard that with people? Where they, like, someone, because this is a hard thing sometimes. You get jealous of competition. It seems like, oh, someone else is doing it. Oh, my God, someone else bought it. They didn't buy it at good numbers. And yet, it doesn't always turn into a deal. Some people lose their shirt. You never hear about that. You're just going, wow, they beat me on the deal. That doesn't mean they won. How do you handle that when you see other people that beat you to get a deal? But it's not,
I don't say they beat me. I just say good for them.
Good for them, yeah, fine. Yeah, good for them, better for you.
Yeah, I keep it moving, you know. You tell me no, and somebody else go in and get it, good for them, you know. That's fine, you know. I could live with that because I paid a couple times a little more than what they asked for because the numbers worked in my favor. That makes sense? Yeah. So I offer a little more. I say, okay, this is what I could offer you. You know, and then because I go with the offer and they say, no, that's not going to work. This is what I want. And then I sort of like squeeze my way into the middle and say, okay, this is my last and final offer. It's like Jeopardy or whatever game show they have it. And they're like, okay, let me think about it and come back. Okay, but on paper, the numbers work for me. I know what will be my maximum offer to get that property. So I always start with the lowest and have them pull me up.
Bingo. Do you follow a particular buying formula?
A particular buying formula.
How do you calculate whether or not
I have a
something's
spreadsheet.
deal?
I have a whole software that I just put numbers in, and it tells me yeah when it's red, no, green, yes.
I love simple.
I paid for it, and I'm like, it works great for me, and I don't do the math anymore in my head. I just put numbers in. Red means leave it alone. Green means it's good to go.
Does it ever pop yellow?
Huh?
Does it ever do yellow? Or is it just green and red?
It's just green and red.
Beautiful.
You know, and it have 3 different categories. So it gives you the lowest, the mid, and then it breaks down how much profit you're going to make depending on which category you use.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Is that software?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Let's do some questions for you guys. What are you guys thinking?
What are you thinking?
Here's a man that's bam, rocketed up, awesome, got big, hit badly by COVID, as many others were, building his way back, done a lot of things that you are at some point in that journey, right? Whether it's at the beginning, whether it's somewhere on the rise, whether it's at the top, maybe you've come down the back end and you're looking to rise again. Somewhere in his story, you're seeing yourself. What questions would you want to know the answer to answer your next step?
What software do you use for your analysis?
For my analysis, I think this gentleman uses it too. Rehab Evaluator. Rehab
Evaluator. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. And then there's a spreadsheet that I stole from someone that it's called the 40,000K whatever it is. I haven't used it in a while, but when I first started, I used to plug the numbers in there and they tell you, okay, if you want to make $40,000, this is what you need to offer, and you put in all the numbers there. Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. Yes, I have a question. Your I like your attitude. Did COVID bring that in, or have you always been like that?
I've always been like that. You know, I don't let
thought so,
anything.
yeah.
I've been challenged. I was giving someone this story the other day. I say I've been challenged since I'm from the Caribbean, okay? From Trinidad. So school system is a little different. You have primary school and then secondary school and then you go to university or whatever have you. So from primary school, and I remember clearly from when I was 8 years old, I've always been challenged, okay? Because I joined the Scouts. I was in the Scouts in school, right? And I was in charge at that age getting the flag up on the pole every Monday morning. Now, for an 8-year-old, that is stressful.
Interesting.
And I was in charge I was what they call the sixer of the group. So I was sort of like the leader of the group. So I had to make sure everybody was there, was in the right uniform, everything. So I've always had those challenges. And then into my adult life, every Monday I had to report to the CEO and the VP numbers for the rest of the restaurants in my region, you know. And that is stressful because I got to get the answer from you. Yeah. You know, and then I have to report that up. And if your answer is crappy, now I have to figure out the answer. You know, so that's always been one of those where I've always been challenged and I've always met the challenge, no matter what. And I've cheated death a couple times. Okay, I mean literally. Okay?
Well, thank you, because I don't feel as crazy as I People tell me I'm crazy, but no, I'm not, but thank you for validating that.
You know, and
Tell me about cheating death and what it's done. Like what, because that's,
okay.
I feel that way. I know other people have, like your life massively changes when you're challenged to the brink.
Before I learned to swim, I almost drowned. And this guy pulled me out of the water. I didn't know where he came from. But he got me out of the water. I mean, it was at the beach, but the beach was one of those where it's shallow and then there's just a sudden drop. Okay? So I got pulled with, I would say about 6 years old. I got pulled with the undercurrent. Okay? And for whatever reason, he got me out. So first thing I went to do was learn to swim. Okay? Not to mention my brother was not Olympic, but he swam for Trinidad and Tobago. My older brother, who was just 2 years older than me, he was the swimmer. I wasn't. I didn't know how to swim. So, with that said, I went and learned how to swim.
Okay.
Okay? Second time, I was on a scouting trip, camping in Grenada, and I fell off a cliff. Okay?
Nice.
And I landed on my back. And you're talking about all the air leaving you? But I lucky I didn't land on my neck. I landed flat on my back. Okay? So I was in pain for a couple, went to the doctor and we in the island. So the most they could do is take x-ray. Oh, you're fine. Out you go. Okay? And then I was in a vehicle with my sister, my cousin, and we were in a Volkswagen Beetle. Okay? And we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us.
In a Beetle.
In a Beetle. Okay? Some of us, because if you know the Beetle, there's a well in the back. Right? The old Beetles have a well in the back.
All right.
Right?
They're in the well.
So there's some water in the well. And we ran off the road, and the car went rolling down a hill. Okay? And the next stop was the ocean. And we were lucky enough that the axle got hooked on a coconut tree that had fallen. And it catch the car, and my brother floored the back glass. And if the car had rolled one more time, it would have rolled on him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how is that for cheating death? You know, so with all that happening and all that taking place in my life, I've learned to embrace life, number one. You know, I've learned to really take care of people. All right? I really put myself first. And I have my wife has a friend that I was out in Colorado doing business for my son. Because my son has his own business. He's a music producer. Okay? And I was out there helping him do some stuff in Colorado, and I go LA for him sometimes. And my wife called me and she said, Miss So-and-so, her husband just rode off the car, they no longer have a car. Could I lend her your car? you know, and I'm like, okay, she could borrow it. And when I got back, you know, the 1 or 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, turned into 4 weeks. And then I call up and I say, listen, if you want the car, you could have it. And I just signed over because she had 9 kids and no vehicle to get them back and forth from school. And I said, if you want the vehicle, I'll give you the vehicle. And my brother got upset with me and he said, you know, in Florida, you need 2 cars. And I said, okay, so what's your story? Because he only has 1 car. You know? So I say, so what's your story? You only have 1. He say, well, I could borrow a car. I say, same here, I'll borrow yours.
Love it.
And we make sure, my wife and myself make sure that every year, once a quarter, we go out and feed and take care of the homeless. Okay, so we set aside money for that. I cook. I used to be a chef before I moved into management. Both of us cook, we package up the food, and then we buy essentials for them, and we make essential bags with toiletries and stuff, and we go out and we hand it out to the homeless. You know, because that's one of the things, once we get back on track, we want to really set up, feeding, whatever she calls it, for the homeless, because that's her passion, you know, taking care of the less fortunate.
Nice.
You know?
I'm seeing some tie-ins with everything. It's kind of interesting.
You said you have a monthly goal. Give me an example of what your monthly goals are.
Okay, so one is educating myself. All right? So I have where I'm going to read 4 books a month. All right? And I pick the 4 books, which equates to 1 book a week. Okay? I put how many phone calls I'm going to make. All right, regardless of the outcome, how many minimum amount of phone calls I'm going to make. So right now I have it set at 15 phone calls a day. Okay, and then there's time for me. You know what Godfrey's going to do. I have myself a little garden in the back of my house that I go take care of. You know, that I have different vegetables and stuff growing that I go and I, like a little old man, taking care of my garden. But it relaxes my mind, you know? And I walk 3 miles every morning, okay? And that helps clear my thoughts and get ready for the day. And that's me. Everybody, people are different. That's just me. That's what I do, you know? So those are the things that I have written down. And as I accomplish them, I change it around for the next month. I put down 2. You know, I write down, how much money do you want to make this week or this month? You know, so you could actually visualize it. Yeah, it's the power of writing down things is strong, you know. Believe it or not. You know?
You work with a vision board?
I have one. Bless you. I have a vision board.
Do you?
Yes, I have a vision board. I have pictures and all what I want to be and what I want to do.
Is it a special place in your home? Or
On my bedroom door. I see it every morning before I walk out my bedroom.
our case stands for this. Here you are. It's an example of the success.
I have a vision board, and then in the bathroom, certain things that I really want, like I want to donate $10 million to the homeless and stuff. I have the check written out and stuck in the mirror in my bathroom.
So it's real. It's already real. You just
Yeah.
haven't donated it yet.
Yeah. The check is written out. Everybody that comes to my house and they use the restroom, I have it in the restroom, in the house. And they say, is that $10 million check for me? I say, are you homeless?
You were homeless.
$7 million I can be. Actually, just so happens I just
Oops. I am
Your
now.
lease is canceled. So the point is, the vision board keeps your mind programmed.
Keep you focused on
into,
what you...
This is what my goal is. This is where I'm going. This is what I've achieved. It gives you a way to measure.
And it motivates you
And it motivates
to do what you need to do.
So it's emotional,
You know?
it's psychological, and it's physical.
I have the vision board, then I have a list of stuff written down on my mirror in my bedroom too. I mean, I have stuff written all over just to constantly remind me of what I need to be doing.
What's on your vision board right now for top 3 things?
What's on my, first of all, I have my affirmation to God.
Okay.
That's the first thing I read, okay? And then I have a picture where I want to go, you know, different places I want to travel to, okay? I have the type of vehicles I want. I have the apartment buildings that I want to own, you know? That's all on my vision board.
Fantastic.
You know, I have my wife on the vision board too, that she sticks around.
She's right next to the religion.
She's right after. I have the affirmation to God that I read every morning, and then
She had faith in you. You have faith in her.
yes.
So you have a vision board of what you want to be when you grow up, basically.
Well, I'm grown up, but
I was
yes,
going to say.
I have a vision board. Yes.
How old are you, Godfrey?
I am 62, going to be 63 in August.
Wow, wait a minute. I thought people, a lot of people, oh, well, once you pass 30, once you pass 40, once you pass 50.
62.
Yeah. Except, wait, it still works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, it's some of your best
62.
years.
And I always use that's just a number. Although sometimes my knee don't say much in the morning when I get up. You know?
It's all right.
Oh, I bend down to pour on my shoe. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know? But yeah.
Do you do just private money borrowing from people that way? Do you go to the bank and get some money?
Well, I started using my own. I started using my own money. On the last deal, I used my own money. You know, and I actually with the IRA stuff with them, and I lent money out, and they skipped. But it's okay because I spoke to the person that specialized that's helped me out with it, and I spoke to my accountant, so we figuring out that little mess. You know, I'm not worried about. It's only $10,000, ain't much. You know, and when I say it ain't much, it could be much worse.
Yeah?
Like a lien on their property, or?
It was unsecured. Again, people I know and people I trusted. But it's all right. I mean, it's not to say that they ditched me and disappeared, you know, because everybody have a story, especially with the COVID and stuff. And I know personally that they're struggling, okay? And they have 2 little kids, and they're having a hard time finding ends meet. And I could go on to their personal stuff, which I don't want to disclose, you know, and I just said, listen, whenever you can, I said, I'll figure it out on the other end. You know, don't even worry about it. You
It's
know?
not like you're going on vacation and they didn't.
Right, no, nothing like that at all. And I'm in constant contact with them and seeing how they're doing, and not because I want my money back. I generally want to make sure that they're doing fine. You know, and I actually send their kids some clothes the other day.
Part of that $1 million. What do they look at it?
That's one way.
Yeah,
It's the first 10 grand from that 1 million.
it's 10 million.
The 10 million.
10 million.
Man, so, Godfrey, thank you for this. It's very insightful. Your I'm going back to a vision board, but what is your immediate plan, short-term, medium, long-term plan? Do you plan out by the month, by the quarter, by the year? At what point
I
do you-
have things listed for the week.
By the
Okay,
week,
so I have it broken down by the week. Okay, then I have it by the month. Okay, and then I have it by the quarter.
By the quarter.
Right? So at the end of the quarter, which we are about to finish a quarter here now, believe it or not, you know, I started looking at the second quarter. And if you look at my phone, all right, I'm going to show you something here.
All I can see is that it's red.
No, well, I'm going to show you the front. You see all these blue marks here?
Yep,
Okay?
okay.
You see all the blue? All that is appointments.
So
That I have.
So that's your pipeline of appointments.
Yeah, I have it synced to my phone. So if somebody go onto my calendar and book an appointment, it comes on my phone. I know, you know.
So that's being organized into a list that you have to go through.
So I use Google, you know, and I have my calendar connected to my Google. Okay, I have Zoom, you know, so they book an appointment, send them the Zoom thing, and you know whoever it may be. If it's somebody looking for property, because one guy just texted me and he said he's going to send me the criteria because he keep asking me stuff, you know. I'm like, okay, what do you need? I need a list of what actually you're looking for so I could go look for it for you. You know?
It's a bird dog.
Yeah.
When you're talking to motivated sellers, and you've talked to lots now over the years, what's a common theme that you're hearing, that you hear, like a common objection, and how do you overcome it?
Well, most of the time, somebody motivated still looking for the money, right? They're still looking for that, what you call maximum amount they can get from it, regardless of how motivated they may seem. Okay, they may go into a divorce, or they're about to face foreclosure and stuff. They have this thing of still wanting to cling on. So what I do is break down the reality to them. Because once you break down the reality of what's coming, and where it's going, and you give them a story. So you sell a story to them because someone that's going through the same thing you're going through, or went through the same thing you're going through, and where it's going to end up. Do you have the means to get out of what you're in right now? Be realistic, okay? No. So what are your plans to get out of it? Besides talking to me at this point in time, what are your plans to get out of this? Okay? And I bet none of them have a plan. Or 99.9% of them don't have a plan of how they're going to get out of it. So I'm giving you the opportunity with a plan. This is how I can help you. And you're not going to walk out of here empty-handed. You're going to walk out of here with something. Because sometimes we throw in $10,000 to move.
Yeah.
Here's 10 grand to move.
Most investors, I would say 99% of investors, don't push the motivated seller to answer a question like that. Because it's rude to back somebody into a corner and ask them a difficult question. What are you going to do? Do you have a plan? How are you going to get out of this? There's a dose of reality that comes with that you're helping the person by bringing that situation to a head. You guys got to get that through your heads, that you are helping the person by doing that. So when Godfrey's saying, that's it. I mean, think about what I asked, what's the number one thing you hear? They think they have a way, they think it's just magically going to happen. They don't have a way out. Just push them for the answer.
And you let them answer. You be in control of the conversation. So you ask the questions, because once they start asking you the questions, you're putting them in control of the conversation.
Bingo.
We asked that question just that way. What is your plan to solve this problem?
Yeah, you ask, what plan you have. Always throw a question back at them.
So you answer the question with the question.
There you go. And me and Trinidad good at doing that. You spent some time in Tobago, you should know, right? Right. Where's the beach? Which beach you want to go to?
Which beach?
You got my number.
What other questions spring to mind, gang? Anything goes.
Anything goes.
No, I'm serious. That's one of the things Godfrey approaches every motivated seller with as well. Nothing is a drawback.
Oh.
Okay.
Everything is it's there. So answer the question. Anything that you're worried about yourself, make fun of it, make a joke out of it, move on, break the ice with it.
Right.
Go for it.
Okay, so what about, you're dealing with the direct property owner, but what if you're going through layers? Let's say a realtor, they've already contacted a realtor.
Well, I work with a realtor.
With
Yeah.
realtors, okay. And they
You ask the same questions and stuff.
They insist on delivering the questions to their client.
And at the end of the day, right,
And you need
the
those
realtor, okay, wants to make money. So they're looking to sell the property regardless.
Right.
Okay? Whether it's at a gain or a loss, they're going to get paid. Okay? And that's how
Do
you
you find
approach your
a
realtor.
delay in time?
Well, there's always delay in time on things that you do. Nothing goes 100% smooth. I've sat down in a closing at a title company waiting for funds to be transferred.
Yeah.
And they say we cut off at 5 o'clock and it's 5 to 5. You all have any idea how nerve-wracking that could be?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right?
It makes you nuts.
It happens. Things, I always say, if it goes 100% the way I want it to go to, God is actually in my back pocket. Anything in life, if it goes 100% the way you want to go to, thing, it doesn't.
Groove.
Not gonna happen.
Right, you know.
There's something that
But things happen, you know, and you got to learn to roll with the punches as it happens, you know.
And COVID is an example.
Yeah, it happened. That
I mean,
just
everything.
send the whole world into a tailspin,
And then you can't evict.
you know.
So, yeah.
And I have a friend of mine, and when I say a friend, we're not friends that we go and hang out and drink and eat or whatever have you, but I know he's more like a coach type of deal, business coach, mentor, and you know, he said, a couple of us were talking, and he said, man, things are getting expensive, right? Prices are going up. And I know he was waiting for an answer to give an answer, you know? And one guy said, yeah, man, you see price of eggs, gas, everything is going up, man. He said, man, it's getting rough. He said, no, prices ain't going up. You're not making enough money. Because
number
it
needs to be
will
going up.
always go up. Okay? What was it back in 1970? It's much different now. So if you're not keeping up and making enough money, he said, if you're not making enough money, then things are expensive for you. He says, so make enough money and you see all that would go away. And he said, make your money your employee.
Make your money work for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's the most valuable thing you've learned in working with sellers? Like, what can you add to them to bring them value? Like they're in that situation, or
To work with sellers, what value that I bring to them, it always comes down to what plan do you have, how do you plan to get out of this, and then I show them my plan. So that's the value I'm bringing. There's a way out of your situation.
so it's really just creating a roadmap for them?
Yeah. There's a way out.
Solution.
Yeah. So you be the problem solver. With whatever you're dealing with whatever business you're in, you be the problem solver.
Wait a minute, does that surprise anybody? Right? That is pretty much the most straightforward answer on that. Who was thinking it must be more complicated? It can't be that simple. It is that simple.
No,
Do
would
it.
everybody say yes? No.
No.
They have some stubborn people, and I mean, and by all rights, you could be as stubborn as you want to, you know? And I wouldn't come back and smirk in your face. I never do that to anybody, you know? You made your decision, that's where you end up. Like, I make my decisions. And if it goes south on me, you know, don't come back and say, that was my decision. You know, I made it on my own. You know, and if I listen to you and it went right, I'll come back and say, thank you so much for the information. It really helped me out. You know, do I still have a team? Yes, I don't have a virtual assistant anymore, you know, but I just interviewed someone to do some admin work for me, you know, and I'm contemplating because I really don't want anybody working with me. I mean, for me, but with me, you know. So I have an attorney, okay, and I'm an accountant, all right? And my attorney has his real estate license also, and mortgage broker's license also, you know. So he's my go-to guy, and I'm trying to get out of the, what you call, the middle income family, the middle class family, and get into luxury, okay? Because if you look at it now, okay, the $1 million earner is now the middle income.
It's funny how that works. So don't be afraid of that zero.
Yeah. You know, so I'm working with him to get into that market because he's doing a lot of business with people in the Middle East, in Dubai. Okay, so he's bringing me their business. So it's a little process, but, you know, keeping my fingers crossed that we're able to work it out. And, you know, but as far as me moving forward, like I just told you, I'm 62. You know, I don't want to be doing much past 65. You know, so I'm on a push here right now to get things done. So at age 65, I could sort of like be back and forth from Trinidad and go places because we have travel plans, and that's what I want to do. So I'm on a big push. So people say, why are you doing that? You collecting a pension right now. You have this coming in, you have that coming in. Why are you doing all this stuff now? Because I can.
You can and you want to.
You know?
Godfrey, let's get an idea of flow, marketing flow, or deal conversion flow. You're talking to these motivated sellers. Not everybody says yes, but you're painting pictures. You're bringing the situations to a head. What percentage are saying yes? What percentage say no?
Whoa, I have more percentage at this particular point in time saying no than yes.
Okay.
Okay? So I'd say roughly about 65% would say no.
Okay.
You know, which is not bad.
Not
you know,
bad at all.
before it was like 90% saying no when
Yeah.
I first started out saying no. You know, I think part of it is a lot of people, first of all, listen to the news too much. Okay,
Yeah.
they delve into the news and they
believe it.
buy into whatever is being told to them through mainstream media. Okay, so there's this picture of doom and gloom painted, and more recently now than before, you know. And there's a whole lot of talk about the economy and the recession and all that's happening, and everybody was happy when they were getting that $1,400 check or $1,200 check, you know, the little handout the government was giving you, not realizing that who's going to pay for it.
I am.
You know? So I was like, I really don't want it. How do you mean you don't want it? People are, how do you mean you don't want it? I said, because you're going to be paying for it 2 years from now, or less than that.
And sure enough,
And where are we now? We're paying for it, you know? And then my brother comes to me and he said, they gave me a raise. I say, okay, they give you a raise. All right, let's see what percentage you got. See what do you mean? I said, because they're saying that inflation is up 8%. I say, but true inflation is up way more than 8%.
Absolutely.
Okay? And let's see what they gave you. I said, wow, a whopping 3%. So you have not covered the cost of living. You know, no way have you covered the cost of living. You know, and he's like, what? I say, yeah. So I say, guess what? You need to make more money. Yep, and you're not going to do that working a job. Not. You know, because that job is just what it is. Just about broke. Or just over broke.
Just over broke.
Yep.
I have a question. So, yeah, I've been a student. I graduated, and also I'm an employee. With like school, you can see the progress. Like, okay, I just finished this chapter, and the next chapter, I'm ready for my exam. With work, you go into the job, you don't almost need to do anything. They just show you, do this, make sure you do this. They give you cap. Don't try to be a manager or trying to micromanage other people. I mean, they teach you the job. But with investing, especially real estate, it's something I'm not maybe quite grasping. It just feels like we were trying to catch wind. I'm spending money with marketing and then hope to get a deal. So then I should have KPIs and call people who might, and then I'm not really getting anything back. And so, I'm not sure what it is I'm not getting about how to sort of move to this different level. From the level of, today I don't have a deal. By the end of the year, I have 250. How did you?
First of all, you have to get out of the mindset of being an employee.
What mindset would that be?
Okay, because as an employee, you're always being told what to do. Okay, as an entrepreneur, you're a leader. Okay, so you go to school, right? And school doesn't guarantee you getting a high income when you come out. Okay, you go, you learn, and yes, it's structured, and they're setting you up for the corporate world to enter a place where you're going to be structured. Okay, and you're going to follow directions. So they come just like what you said. And because when you start talking, I pull up this little graph here, and this should explain it all to you of what you just asked me. Look at that little picture there. I'm sorry. You see? Does that answer your question? A leader, what you do is you empower people. All right?
You better describe what you showed.
I'm showing here the boss taking advantage of the employee. Okay? I have the boss taking advantage of the employee, and they have what leaders do. They empower, and they help people grow. Okay? So when you have a job, okay, you don't help people. If you have few people in the corporate world and the business world that would help you grow. Okay? I have as a district manager and as a general manager in restaurants and stuff, I have promoted people from being a server to actually being a general manager, okay? And the difference is that I empowered them to make decisions, okay? I didn't decide for you what to do. I empower you to make decisions, you know? So you gotta empower yourself, okay, and train yourself, okay? And it all comes with training yourself, the mindset. You just gotta think, this is what I need to do for me, Maureen. This is what, Maureen, I'm Maureen, I am me, I'm a leader, this is what I can do. You know, it's gonna be difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, okay? But the process is simple. We just got to focus on it.
So, Maureen, I thought that was a beautiful question, and but it's speaking to kind of a deep-seated doubt, frustration, like uncertainty. Godfrey, like dialing back to when you were starting. It's easy now to say, well, just keep doing it, it'll work. Think about where she's at, though. Like, like okay, if she keep doing what can she expect? Like, where are the? How does she know she's heading in the right vector, the right direction, the right way?
Okay, going back, it was. I didn't know if I was going in the right direction or not, but at the point in time, you know, I was told that if you want to go in the right direction, okay, you got to attend meetings and seminars and boot camps like this to keep you in that direction, you know. Part of it is being self-motivated too, okay? So it's just a matter of, I know I'm saying it because I've been there. I mean, I've been there and I've skipped past that.
Okay.
Now, you know, and I do things on my own and I'm able to self-motivate myself, you know, and I see results. But you just got to keep going at it, because one day that door is going to open. Once that door opens, you'll see everything start flowing. You just have to get that door to open. But guess what? If you stop, you'll never open that door. You know, that door wouldn't open. And I know it could be frustrating. And I know at times it could be where you're like, you want to give up. Like, I'm just going to continue with the job. But, you know, you see, part of the vision board too, and part of writing down stuff is you put down what is your motivation for doing what you're doing. What is your motivation? Then you got to remind yourself each and every day of that motivation. You know, why am I doing this? What is my motivation behind doing this? You want to get out from the corporate world and have your own business and take control of your life and not having to work for someone till you turn 65 and then you retire. And then what you retire with is not enough, okay? Because if you feel $1 million is going to last somebody, now when they retire, that's not going to happen, okay? Especially with a lot of people living longer.
Interesting angle on it.
You know,
Yeah.
people living longer. So you have to figure out at age 65, you know, you have the possibility of living to 95. So that's 30 years more. Okay? And then when you look at the retirement, when is it going to run out?
Soon.
Okay? So, I mean, you got to, like one person said, numbers means a whole lot when you start looking at numbers, you know? So you got to figure out if you're young. Now I talk to my kids, you know, even my grandkids. I have 10 grandkids, by the way, okay? And I talk to my grandkids and I encouraging them now to start planning, okay? Because at my age, my parents didn't teach us to start planning. It was like, go to school, get a job.
Yeah.
Go to school, get a job. Go to school, get a job. That's what you need to do. Go get a good job, you know? And they're showing off with their friends. Oh, my son is a lawyer. Oh, my son is an accountant. Oh, my son is an engineer. Yeah, and my entire family, my age, lawyers and engineers. At my age. You know, the ones that, my cousins and my brother's an engineer. I was going to be an engineer. And I got up and walked out from the testing. And my dad said, what happened? I said, I can't do that. I can't sit down in a box all day and do this. I really can't. You know, and he said, well, you know how to cook and you know how to do this and you like to talk to people and stuff. Let me point you in the right direction. He said, if you're going to do anything in life, make sure that you could do it on your own. You know, so.
Beautiful.
You know, so, and when I was signing up for school, I went down there I went to New York City Technical College, okay, in Brooklyn. And I went to the Hilton because they had a program there and the guy said, we're in strike right now. I'm going to recommend New York City Technical College that you go to. They have some great programs. They have a great program, teachers, whatever have you. Okay, great. Went down there to sign up. Went 8 in the morning, and at 4:30 in the evening, was at the same position I was 8 in the morning. Okay? Nothing done. I'm just getting bounce around. And I pay phones back then. We didn't have cell phones. Took out my dime, drop it in the pay phone, called my dad. I said, I'm coming home, and I didn't get anything done. And he was like, you went down there to get something done, right? I said, yeah. He said, and you didn't get it done. He said, no. He said, that's because you didn't want to get it done. He said, if you give up now, you'll be giving up for the rest of your life. And he hung up the phone on me. And I went back in, and I need to get this done here. And lo and behold, in 30 minutes, it was done. What I spent all day trying to get done, in 30 minutes, it was done.
So
Last question for now. Then, only because we have boats coming. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
shit,
Maureen's
I got
question
to
Yeah, I know,
was
time
very good, and
flies.
it does point to a problem, a larger problem, and that's that, yeah,
get
school
it.
education only teaches us to
246.
be a good worker bee. So once you get past that and understand that, you turn a corner. What would you suggest people beginning do to get themselves past that? Maybe they've been exposed
And you know,
to
I
that.
missed the first part of the question. I'm sorry.
What would you suggest people just starting in real estate who discovered it do in order, the entrepreneurial mindset? What would you suggest they do to pull themselves along, to push themselves further?
You know,
down there?
the mindset is something I think you got to develop, okay? I can't try to put the entrepreneurial mindset into David, you know? It's something David wants to have. You know, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I want for myself. You know, I trying to convince him to be an entrepreneur it's not going to work. I mean, I've seen people try to convince people to be entrepreneurs.
You can't.
I can't. Yeah. You know, it's something you got to want.
We can train you how to be one if you actually want to be one. You can't train someone to want to be one.
I could give you the steps. Tom could give you the steps, but
I've got something I think that's going to play into that more. So hang on. First, let's give Godfrey a round of applause.
yeah. Thank you.
This is totally awesome.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
See you. Glad you came.